So having understood the importance of Linux, all right, we are now going to look at the different commands or the different Linux commands. So we're going to be starting with the very basic Linux commands to the advanced Linux commands. And next week, we are going to cover Linux administration, whereby we give permissions to files, give permissions to directories, give permissions to users, okay, and grant privileges to users, add users, delete users, and all the like. So we are going to start with the very first Linux command. Like I said, when you see this page on your local command line interface, this page signifies your home page. And on your Windows computer, it represents what we all call desktop, the desktop page. Anything that is on your screen, the screen of your computer is in the desktop folder. So this Linux environment is considered as the desktop directory for this Linux system. But it is not going to be written desktop, okay? It's going to be written home. So desktop for Windows and home for Linux, okay? So whenever you find yourself here, you are presently in the home directory, and you are the user. This is the name of the user, and this is the name of the system, the computer, okay? So Prof. Jack is the user on the system called Nova Technology, and Prof. Jack is currently on the home directory of this Linux operating system, okay? So that is one thing you have to understand, okay? So we are going to look at this. Run pwd, most likely, all right, I'm going to be using this dark so that everything can go in small or lowercase. Remember, before we started Linux, I made mention of a characteristics of Linux. And who can remember that characteristics that I made mention? That Linux is, there is a particular statement I made. Anybody can remember? Linux is what? Case and what? Sensitive. I said Linux is case and space sensitive. That Linux is very sensitive to case, be it lower or uppercase, and then it is sensitive to space, which means every Linux command should be run in small or let's say lower case. Anything that has to do with uppercase, if I change this P to capital P or uppercase P, is no more going to work. All right. So any command you run on Linux must be separated to any word that you want to use. The words can be in capital letters, but the command itself must be in lowercase. And the command cannot join or cannot be linked to the words, as in if you have to create a directory, you cannot link the command make directory to the name that you want to create as directory. So if I'm creating a directory here, if I'm creating a folder, for example, that November 10, I cannot link the command make directory to the November 10. It's not going to work. It therefore means that I must separate the command from the name. Okay. So this command means print working directory. This is the meaning of this command. Print, okay. Print what? Working directory. Okay. Good. Or what? Or present working directory. So it is either print working directory or present working directory. Okay. Now, if I run print working directory, that means I want to see what I want to see the current working directory that is currently present. Okay, I want to see the current working directory. So this command, what does this command do? This command, I think I can put it this way. So I can say that this shows, or let's just say shows the current, okay, working directory. Okay, shows the current working directory. This command. Okay. Now, how do I do it? I just come here and run pwd and I hit enter. So you now see that it shows me the current working directory where I am. Okay. It shows me the current working directory. Okay. That's my current working directory. Prof Jack, the home of Prof Jack. Okay. The current working directory. That is where I am at the moment. Good. All right. So when you run this command, it therefore means you just want to look at the current working directory, okay, where you are presently in the system. Now, I told us that when we want to list something on our computer, we need to use a command called the ls command, okay? So if you run ls equal to list, okay? That is the name, that is the meaning of ls, okay? So when you run ls, know that this is what you want to achieve. Okay. Now, what is ls? Ls lists, all right, files and directory, okay, in the system, all right. Ls lists files and directory in the system. Okay. Okay, let's say files and directories. Okay. So if you run ls here, you're going to list files and directories. That's why you see I'm able to list all these files and directories in the system. Okay. The next command that we are going to look at is cd. Okay. Cd equals to change directory. Now, the reason why it is change directory, okay, is because when you run pwd, you see your working directory, and you see that we are in the home, in the desktop of Prof Jack. So you can use cd to change directory from home to another directory. So for example, we say this is a directory called Facebook, and if you want to leave the home directory to the Facebook directory, we are supposed to run cd. So we can run, let me put the name first, the meaning. All right, change directory. Okay, I've already put the change directory. Now we can run cd. Okay, we can say that cd, okay, Facebook. Okay, so we come here, you run cd Facebook, then you hit enter. Every time you run a command, you must execute the command with enter. So when I say run cd Facebook, I'm literally saying that type cd, put Facebook, then hit enter. When I say run the command ls, you run ls, like as in ls. When I say run the command cd Facebook, you can run cd space Facebook, then hit enter. When I say run ls, mean type ls and then hit enter. So be very intentional and make sure to master these languages, these terminologies. Very important. So currently we are in the home we are currently in our new directory called Facebook, because we were normally in our home directory, but now we have seeded and we have entered Facebook. And that's the reason why you can see Facebook here. So anything you run ls here, you are running ls to list directories and files in the directory called Facebook. Okay. Now, once you type and you see your screen is full, you cannot be writing like this. You need to run the command called clear. So the clear command enables you to clear your screen, not deleting what you have written, but just simply clearing the screen. All right, clearing all the jargon you have been able to write so that your screen can start afresh for you to rewrite other things. That is the meaning of clearing the screen. Okay, so you can type now, let's say the clear command. Okay, the clear command, all right, equal to clears, sorry, the clear command clears what? Clears, you can just see that clears the terminal. Okay, or let's say clear the terminal screen. So the clear command simply does what? It clears the terminal screen. Okay, very simple. Now there is a very interesting command. Who am I? The who am I command. Just by the name who am I? Who am I command? Who a me. So it's just a short form, right? Who am I command. This who am I command is very important. Why? It displays the current logged in user. That means the user that is currently logged in the system. So let's say, for example, if I use cd, just wipe it. Okay. Then this one I can say displays the, okay, let's just say current logged in user. Okay. Okay, let's see displays. So this command current displays the current logged in user. So you can decide to use who am I. It's going to tell you the user that is currently logged in. So the user that is currently logged in is Prof Jack. You see? The user that is currently logged in the system is Prof Jack. If it was a different user, it would have shown us there. Okay. So you can paste it here. That is a user that is currently logged in the system. Okay. The next command that we have under the basic Linux commands, we have so many. Okay. I think we have seen the other commands. I'm just going to add them to this. Okay. We have seen the cd space dot dot. We have all these directories, right? But then let's go like this. So let's do B. Okay. Let's just do, okay, is it 2? Let's do 2. Good. 2, we are going to look at files and directory commands. Okay, anyways, files and directory commands, that's good. Okay, so we look at files and directory commands. These files and directory commands in tells us how to navigate files. Okay, use commands that has to do with what? Files and directories. Okay. Now the first file and directory command that we're going to look at is, that we already know, is make directory. Okay, make directory command. So equal to make directory. Okay, make directory. So we hit, so we can just say make directory what? Facebook. I think no. Let's look at something. Make directory what? Make directory Ghana. Okay. So how are we supposed to achieve this? We come here. All right. It means that we can click to what? Make a directory called Ghana. Right. So we have this. Okay. So we come here, we do make directory. Ghana, right? And we hit enter. Hit enter to execute. So we run ls, the ls command that enables us to see the directory called Ghana. Okay. Now that we have made a directory called Ghana and we run ls, we could now see our directory called Ghana. Very interesting. Okay. Now let's look at making another directory called projects. Make directory projects. I can just copy this command from here. Control C, paste it here. It's like I don't copy. So I can just copy this. Then I hit enter. Make directory projects. You see that? So I have the directory called projects. Now, if I run ls, I'm going to see our directory called projects. Good and fine. See that? Now, let's come down and look at another directory, another Linux command. We have the command called remove directory. This is equal to remove directory. Okay. So if we are supposed to run the remove directory command, we are running remove directory. Oh, I see. So you don't put this hash. So we want to remove directory called Ghana. Okay. So if I copy this command and I paste here, remember Ghana is there. So I paste the directory and hit enter. Then if I run ls, I will no more see Ghana on the lists. Okay. Ghana is in this list. Okay. And now Ghana does not exist again. Why? Because I was able to run make directory. So this command is to remove a directory, to delete the directory. Okay. Now the next command we are going to look at is to remove a directory. All right. Directory that has something inside. But now I can guarantee you that this particular command above, okay, is to remove what? An empty directory. Okay. So this is how to remove an empty directory. Why an empty directory? Which nothing in the directory called Ghana. Okay. But do you know that I can make a directory, for example? Oh, sorry. Remove an empty directory. So I can remake directory called Ghana, for example. And if I run ls, I can see Ghana. Then I cd into Ghana. Okay. Then in Ghana, I make another directory called, all right, Jones. Then I touch another file called Jim, for example. So if I ls in Ghana, I'm seeing Jones and Jim. Okay. Now I cd out of Ghana. Then I clear my screen. Then if I ls, I can see Ghana. And in Ghana, we have two objects. We have a directory called Jones and a file called Jim. Okay. Now, assuming I run remove directory Ghana, I just want to say something. Now they tell me Ghana is not empty. Do you see that? So this particular command can be a directory provided a directory is empty. But now Ghana is not empty, which means for me to delete Ghana, I need to use another command. And we are going to look at the command here. rm-r or rf. Okay, any of these, but if we use one command, okay, this command is used to remove a directory and its content. All right, remove a directory, right? And okay, sorry, and its content. Okay, remove a directory and its contents. All right, so if I come down here and I say, okay, I want to run this command rm -r, then I run Ghana. Okay, let me give it space here so that you know that this is not mixed. So if I copy this command, then I come here and run it. Remember, I ran remove directory Ghana. It did not succeed. That's why they gave us this error that failed, because Ghana is not empty. But now I want to run this other command and still Ghana. Then I hit enter. You see that it deleted Ghana. Anytime you don't see an error, know that it worked. The command worked. And when you run ls, you will no more see Ghana. This is Ghana here, and now Ghana does not exist. So this command is used to what? To delete directories and its contents. Okay. I hope that is understood. Now, the next command that we are supposed to look at is to create a file. It is true, I just created a file above. So if we hit enter, we're going to see a file. But then let's look at a command called touch. All right. So I just want to brush everything again. That's why you see me repeating this command. So touch is equal to, okay, a command, okay, create a new file. Okay, create a new file, or let's just say create a new empty file. Okay, we are creating a new empty file. Now let's run a command. Let's say touch. Okay, we can just say we want to create an empty file called notes. All right, please give a space here. So we want to create an empty file. So if you come back here, then we type the command touch. Then we say we want to do notes. So if I hit enter, then I hit ls, I'm supposed to see the file called notes. You see that? So this is basically the command, how to create an empty file, right? So we can create a file called notes. Okay. So if we want to delete a file called notes, okay, we can run the command called rm. Okay. Let's say rm, okay, equals to, okay, delete an empty, okay, delete an empty file. Okay. So if I come here now, I decide to say, okay, I want to run rm notes, right? So if we do rm notes, then we hit enter. Then if we run ls again, we are not going to see notes. So we have deleted the file called notes. Okay. Now let's look at another command called the cp command. Okay. let's look at another command called a CP command. But before we look at that, let's assume that we bring back notes. So we touch a file called notes. So we have created back notes. All right. Don't worry, I use my up arrow key to go back to the previous command to run touch notes. That's what I just used now. And I hit enter. So it has created notes again, even though we deleted before. So we can now see back our notes. Okay. And we have Facebook as a directory. We have logo as a directory. We have our projects as a directory that we have just created, right? Remember. Now, let's look at this command called the CP command. Sorry. CP command is equal to copy. Okay. We can literally copy files or directories. Okay. Copy files or copy directories. As simple as that. Okay. So if we come down, we say we want to use a CP command. It means that amongst this directory called Facebook that we have here, among this file, the logo directory, the notes as a file, October 31st as a directory, project as a directory, we can use this CP command to copy any of them. And when we talk about copy, copy means from an original copy, we can produce another copy, as in you do photocopy, right? You do a photocopy, right? Very important so that you understand. Now, assuming we have notes, no, we have notes, not assuming, we have notes here, all right? And in projects, I don't think there's anything in projects, okay? Now, we want to copy notes and send into project. But now, before we do that, let's go into projects and see. We CD into projects. Then we ls in projects. So whenever you ls and you don't see anything, it means there's nothing. So I can CD and I hit enter. Then I lift project back. Okay. So I clear my screen. So I already know that in projects, there is nothing. So the directory called project is empty. There's nothing inside. But they say, okay, good. They say copy notes and send into projects. What command are you supposed to run? You're supposed to run cp notes space projects. Okay. You now run this command. So you can come back here. You do cp notes space projects. Okay. So this command, you hit enter, enables you to, when you run ls, of course, you see projects. You see notes. Notes is still here because you only did the copy. So if I cd into projects, sorry. So if I cd into project and I hit enter, then I ls in the project, then I'm supposed to see notes in projects. Okay, because I did a copy. So note is outside project and note is also inside project because I did copy notes into projects. Okay. CP is a command used to what? Copy files or directory. Okay. Now let's look at something else. I'm going to cd out of this place. Okay. Let's look at the move command. MV command equal to move. Okay. Or let's just say equal to, okay, move. Yes, no problem. It's okay. Move or rename files or directory. Okay. You can use this command to rename files or directories. How do you do it? We already know that we have what command. So if I do move, okay, move what command. So this command is either used to move a file or a directory from one location to another, or it is used to rename a file or a directory. Now, we already have ls here. We have our file called Facebook. Our directory called Facebook. We have a directory called logo. We have another directory called October 31st. We also have another directory called projects. Then we have a file called DevOps class, and we have a file called notes. So assuming we want to move DevOps class into October. But before we move DevOps class into October, we want to rename October 31st to November 2nd. Okay. So we now run MV October. Okay. Then change the name to November 2nd. Okay. November 2nd, just like that. Okay. Then we hit enter. So if you run ls, you no more see October 31st. You now see November 2nd. Okay. November 2nd. Now, this is the case where it works with that. Okay. So we can now copy this command and we paste it here. Okay, so we have created, we're able to run that command, okay, to achieve that. Now, our next command is going to be the same move, but we are now going to do what? We are now going to run this. This is a file called DevOps. Okay, DevOps. Let's run the move command. Move DevOps to what? November 2nd. Okay. November 2nd. You see that? So if I hit enter, then I run ls, I'm no more going to see DevOps class in this list. Okay. Now, where is DevOps class? If I seed into November 2nd, then I ls, I'm going to see DevOps class. So I've transferred DevOps class from outside to inside November 2nd. So this command works purposely for that. Then I can paste it outside here on our documents. Okay. So it means I've moved this into November 2nd. And I was able to do what? To use this to rename October 31st to November 2nd. So this is it as we see. The next command we are supposed to look at is the cat command. But before we look at the cat command, we need to look at what the command called VI. Okay. VI, okay. Used to do what? Used to access a file. Okay. But sorry, VI is not capital V. Someone would have paid attention to tell me, no. VI command. Okay. So we run VI, then space, then we write notes. Okay. So we can come back here, we run ls. We can see notes outside. So it means if we run VI notes, then we hit enter, we are going to access this file. Now, from our previous class, we have already talked about this, so I'm not going to talk about what you need to do in this file. What you need to do in this file is either you click the I key to go to insert mode. Okay. Command insert mode. Right. So when you're on insert mode, you can see it below. That's why I just minimize my picture. You can see insert mode below. Insert mode means you can type now inside. So you can say, I am a DevOps cloud engineer. Okay. I am a DevOps cloud engineer and I am proud. Okay. Proud to be one. Okay. Now You hit escape key, I already made mention. When you hit escape key, you are going to move from from insert to command. And I said for you to save, you must hold your shift key, click on colon. You see colon down here, you do W cure exclamation sign. When you complete this before you hit enter, and you are saving. Now, I did this because I want you to see how to access a file. And we have seen, and we have written something in the file. Okay. Now, the command cat is to do what? We can say that the command cat displays, let's just say displays a file's content. Okay. Displays a file's content. Oh, like that. Yeah. Okay. So if we come down here and we say we want to use a cat command, we can say cat notes. Okay. So if we come back here, we run cats, then we say notes. So we are in another way seeing what is in the file called notes without accessing it. So what is in the file called notes? I am a DevOps cloud engineer and I am proud to be one. You see, that is what is in the content of that specific file. All right. We have several other commands that we have looked at previously, and I just wanted to brief us right in a very swift manner, right? The different commands that we have looked at. Though I'm not going to give all exact because we already have those videos for that. Right. So I'm just brushing up things and we are moving on. Now, before I continue, I still want to confirm if you people can hear me. Let me not be speaking to myself.
Yes, it
All
is
right.
okay.
All right. Okay. Good. Now we are going to move to another stage of our commands. Of course, yes, I'm just brushing up things. Let's look at file viewing and searching commands. Thing is 3. Okay. Let's see file viewing and what's searching. Okay. Sorry, file viewing and searching commands. Okay. So we can script that. Good. One file viewing and searching command we're going to see is grep. Okay. I think yes, we didn't look at this. Yeah. So grep is equal to, what is grep? Grep is used to what? To search for a word or a pattern inside a specific file. Okay. You can use to search for a word, a pattern inside a specific file. Okay. Let's say, for example, if you have so many things in a file, like for example, we have a node file and there are so many things inside the node file, and you want to search for a specific word inside the node file, you can now go along with this and you look at it. Okay. Now let's say, for example, grep, you can say searches for a word. Okay. Searching for a word or a specific pattern. Or let's say a pattern, not specific, inside a file. Okay. So we have that. So you can decide to come down. I use a good example. And you say grep. Okay. Let me give it space here. You just say you want to search a specific something in a file. So you just say maybe we just put error here. Sorry, I need to follow this pattern. And we can just say notes. Okay, but let's put something, a word here that we have. Okay, look at clouds. So let me copy this command. We have cloud as a word, right? No, but I think this command is going to be different. Let me run it here instead. Yes, clouds. Yes, you see that. Search for a particular word in a file called notes. Is it notes? Yes. Do you see that? When we run cat here above, right? Cat notes, we could see I am a DevOps cloud engineer and I am proud to be one. Just clear. But when you run the grep, a specific words inside the notes file, you now see that I'm a DevOps cloud engineer and I'm proud to be one. But you see that the cloud has another color. It means you are specifying, right? You want to search specifically that word, and that's why they were able to highlight the word to be different from the other words present there. So this is very important, and it's so we can scroll down a little bit. We look at another file viewing and searching command that is very important, known as find command. Okay, this explains itself to be search for what? Files and directories. Okay, you can use it to search for files and directories. Okay, you can say it is used to search for files and what? Directories. Okay, used to search for files and directories. So you can literally come here to use what? You say find. Okay, remember here we run ls, we have our different files and directories. Okay, so we can come back here and we can run the command find. Okay, maybe we want to look for a specific name. Okay, yeah, we want to look for a specific file in the system, so we can decide to run that. And we can say in the home /home, remember. Anyway, let me show you here first. Let's say pwd. This is /home. So I'm in the /home environment now. Let me clear my screen. I think it's good to clear the screen. Okay. So I'm currently in the /. So when I'm running /home, you should understand that I'm talking about the home directory. Okay. So if you say in the /home, you want to look for a name called so and so. Okay. And if we run ls here, we are going to see logo and all the like. So imagine we have about 200 files here. You need to start looking at the specific file that is there, but you can decide to run what? Find /home. Okay, and you now give a name, but you can do minus, you say name, then you come now, you put logo. So if you hit enter, it's going to show you all the things you are supposed to see, and you can easily now look for what you see. It has broken down in every file and directory that is under home. Yes, every file that is under home. And you can now come here, you see that in the home of Prof Jack there is a folder called logo, which is this. And in the home of Prof Jack, inside October whatsoever, you can see logo again, and logo has what they call October 20 feet inside it. So literally it gives you a detail of what logo is in logo. So if you type SD logo below, you hit enter and you run ls, you see October this thing. But before, you could not just see it from the outside. Now it tells you direct from here that in the home of Prof Jack, this is in the home of the name we are looking logo. But in the home of Prof Jack, there is a file called logo, and inside the file there is another direct. I mean, there's a directory called logo, and inside the directory there is another directory called October that. So I can CD and I clear my screen. This is used to just clear the screen. Okay, so I can run this one here. Home name logo. So if we come down, we run another command under this same category. We are going to look at locate. Locate. That is another command under viewing and searching files. Okay. Locate. What does locate mean? Okay. Locate, quickly find what? File paths. You can find, so we can just say that it quickly finds we can say that it quickly finds what? A file path. Okay. Can simply just say it that way. It finds a file path. Now, what do we mean by quickly finds a file path? So we can decide to say locate. All right. So this used to just find a specific file path in the system. Okay. So we can have, I don't know how to put it because it will give us a very long statement here, but then we can literally use this to what? Locate a specific file path in the system. But then let's look at if it's going to go with notes. Let's say locate notes. Locate notes. Okay. Locate notes didn't work. And I think it didn't work for a particular reason because the note should be a file path. That means there should be notes and then there's something in the notes. I mean, there should be a particular note should be inside the directory and then in another directory right up to where you go and find notes. Maybe you create about 5 directories or 4 or 3. The note is towards the last, is inside the last directory. Then you want to search for the part where note is. Then you now need to type note that is going to give you to that part. But then let's look at ls and let's look at locate. Oh, sorry. See, I want to see this one to see. Okay, it's not found, but can be installed. Okay, I see. Oh, okay. I didn't even pay attention to that. Oh, sudo apt install. I didn't pay attention to the details. Like we said, in Linux, paying attention to detail is very important. So I was already concluding without even looking at what they were talking about. So locate. So they say install what? Locate 2025. So I'm installing that, assuming that was the problem. Hmm. Some more time. Okay, so I'm just going to kill it. Control C. Okay. Control C. So it's like it's not stopping. Let's look at it. Where goodness. So okay. History command. History command. So we're literally saying that to create a group, you can run this particular command, group add students. So when I ran this one, it didn't go because they say permission denied. So to create group is a very sensitive something, right? It's sensitive action in the system. That's the reason why it recommended me to add sudo. So after adding sudo and then group add the name students, I was able to create it. So to now see if you have students in the system, you run sudo cat /etc group. This command enables you to see the different groups in the system. Now you can now see the different groups: admin group, netdev, prof jack, Kenny, Bola, Jim, Nigeria, Plocate, Tile, and students. So these are the different groups in the system. So I was saying that open source just means that you can literally download a software without necessarily subscribing to any system or getting into any third-party software to be able to host that software. So it's easy for you, or I mean most developers, to get into the source code and modify the software, all right, to suit what they want to do. So if I should clear my screen, I'm going to wipe off the screen. So group add students. Then if you want to check sudo cat, okay, this command used to what? To check the groups system. Okay, things simple, right? Different commands used to check the groups in the system. Okay, let's take 5 minutes break. 5. I have here 1 minute to, I mean, past 5. So let's take 5 minutes break.